Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, here, doing a Raw review. Yes, a Monday Night Raw review. And man, I haven't done these in quite a while. In fact, the last time I ever even watched a Monday Night Raw was in 2015. Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, let's get started with the show with, we started off with Mick Foley coming out, and by gosh, what happened to Mick Foley? It looks like he lost all of it. I mean, you ever saw the movie Thinner? It's just like that old gypsy, the old couple, the curse like Thinner, and bam, Mick Foley just looks like everything. He looks like he looks sick. You know, he does not look good. He needs to get some meat in his bones, man. He looks unhealthy. And by the way, he needs to get his hip replaced. You know, that's why he was probably walking off funny. Dude, get your hip replaced. Get some. Go to the doctor. Get your hip replaced, man. Just do it. Seriously. Anyway, he did this little stick of like he's writing the city in his hand, so he never actually stays the name of the wrong city again, and yada yada yada. Some more bad stick, and then he comes out saying, he says, "I'm going to ensure that Chris Jericho does not intervene in Kevin Owens' match against Roman Reigns, getting Jericho to lock himself inside a shark cage." Not just having him locked inside the locker room or something. Like, have him, like, I don't know, have him like, okay, well, Kevin Owens is having this match. Guess what? You're in the locker room and you're locked in. There. That's it. He can't get out of the locker room. He's in for the entire match. He has to sit and watch it. There. Done. I don't know why they have to do such elaborate things in a shark cage, trying so hard to be like the 80s NWA. Which, by the way, it ain't the 80s anymore, and I'm getting a little sick to say that when I don't watch WWE. But then again, only people who are over in WWE now are people who are part-timers and guys who just got over in the 90s and the Attitude Era. So what do I know? Anyway, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho come out, and Chris Jericho comes in, does his meme saying he's going to be trapped up there like a sex pinata. And he says, "I'm going to be in a cage, man." Like I said, he's a walking meme. And I just don't care. And they say, what's so funny about Mick Foley giving Roman Reigns another match for the Universal title, a championship which he already, a championship, a Universal Championship that just, like he's like, Kevin Owens beat him fair and square, which he didn't. It was a DQ thanks to Chris Jericho because it's just, it never ends. It's the same type of match. It's the same thing over and over again for the past couple months. You know what? No. Even if Finn Balor was 100% and he was doing all this face championship stuff, we still would have this. The ratings would still go down because Finn Balor is not a main eventer. I'm sorry. I don't care. Yeah, I'm becoming bitter. I'm becoming bitter and I hate that. I don't want to be bitter, but damn it, I need to. I just don't know what the appeal of these guys are, man. I don't know the appeal of Kevin Owens. I don't. He just seems like just a big slobbly dude who just goes in. He's like just like one fan just want to take it to be be a WWE superstar and carry and become a champion for a month or whatever. That's what it is. It seems like Kevin Owens looks like a dude just won a contest, not actually a wrestler. That's what I had to say about that. And also they talked about Seth Rollins and such, because Lord knows Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Kevin Owens, and just Jericho. Yeah, those four guys haven't been in the main event for far too long. Anyway, it looks like Foley also said Kevin Owens will actually host his own show, because Lord knows we need another guy with a talking segment gimmick. As his first guest will be Bill Goldberg. And then after that, Owens says, yes, you'll have that. But then next, Stephanie McMahon comes in saying that Foley is not abusing his power. She also announced tonight Roman Reigns will defend the United States Championship against Chris Jericho and ensure that there is going to be a decisive winner. If Roman Reigns is disqualified or counted out, he will lose the championship. And Owens and Jericho they approved. And they say they're national treasures. And I just don't care. My brain just went off like, how long is this segment still going? It just kept going and going. But they want more. They want Seth Rollins to be banned from ringside. And Stephanie decides that Kevin Owens fights Seth Rollins because we haven't seen that match for 10,000 years. And by the way, I love in the middle of this, they had, Mick Foley going out saying, Jess Jericho should not be ringside in this match. I'm like, dude, stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Just stop with these botches. And then everyone started yelling and screaming, and I just wanted to put the mute button, and I did. I put the mute button. And I just thank you. I just could not stand any more of that segment. But I unmuted it, and I heard Stephanie talk and finish the whole thing saying that Kevin Owens will fight Seth Rollins next, and the loser will be banned from ringside in the main event. Then we get to our match as Seth Rollins beats Kevin Owens via disqualification. And the way they did it, it was pretty much a decent match, but again, I've seen these two fight multiple times, over and over again. And the way Kevin Owens lost via disqualification is that he blatantly hit Seth Rollins with a ring bell. Yeah, just blatant. And then he doesn't get even a one-up. In fact, he doesn't get a run-up. In fact, he gets kicked in the face. Seth Rollins outwits him and kicks him in the face and gets him out of the ring. Yeah. Our heel champion, ladies and gentlemen. I have no reason why I should root for or cheer or boo or whatever Kevin Owens. Again, he's more like a fan who won a contest to be world champion for an insurmountable time. Like that sort of thing. He just won a contest, not someone who's actually a wrestler. Next up, we have Carl Anderson taking on Cesaro with Sheamus on commentary. A decent match, and honestly, Cesaro doing more cruiserweight things. Seriously, Cesaro is much more of a cruiserweight and gets more reaction than most of the cruiserweights in the division. Other than maybe Jack Gallagher, who's slowly but surely getting people to like him. And such. By the way, I think it was after this segment that they actually had a nice segment with the New Day, which was pretty funny. It was actually nice seeing the Cruiserweight division actually interact with people in the main roster, which was nice. Gallagher and the New Day, actually, they had some decent chemistry with her, so that was a really good positive from Raw. Gallagher and the New Day. Positive stuff, and hopefully there'll be more interactions with the Cruiserweight division in the main card, because I'm tired of the whole separate but equal type of thing they have with the Cruiserweights. Integration, people. It's not a bad thing. Anyway, Carl Anderson beats Cesaro because of Sheamus trying to protect him, and Carl Anderson wins with a neck breaker from the top rope. And, gets the big victory, and they look like they're going to be the next look like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are going to be the ones challenging for titles with Sheamus and Cesaro. And I don't care at all. Does anyone care about Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows anymore? I don't. Next up is Braun Strowman, Brawny the Strony Man, taking on Sami Zayn in a last man standing match. Decent one, even though the kendo sticks are getting real tiresome. If I was picked, why didn't he, I know Sami had later in the match had a lead pipe, but why a kendo stick? Why not get like a nice lead pipe or something with rhubarb right there? Something like that, or, maybe fire extinguishers, or, something like that. Barbed wire baseball bat, since Mick Foley was his inspiration. Something like that. Because, hey, that would be actually a really good idea to have something like that lying around. If you're going to do a last man standing match, go all in. Go with the violence. Go with the insanity. But, they're WWE's PG, so they can't do that. But honestly, what we had was at least halfway decent. Braun Strowman should have murked Sami Zayn a lot earlier. Seriously, you had Sami Zayn he tried to do that whole dive in for the DDT, and Strowman just, whoom! knocked him right out. I'm like, that should have been the end of the match right there, but Sami kept getting up, and it looked like, oh, I was like, they're not going to let Sami Zayn win. Please don't let Sami Zayn win. But we did the crossbody and knocking Strowman down on the tables. I was like, no, please don't. And then Strowman got right back up, and he picked up the steel chair. He got hit with a steel chair, and then got back up from Sami Zayn, and then picked up the steel chair, tossed him down, and then do a nice running power slam on the outside of the ring, where those mats are, and then he just kept punishing Sami until the referee counted 10 and the match was over, and Braun Strowman finally gets past Sami Zayn. But he wasn't done with Sami. Oh no. He picked up Sami Zayn after he was going to be wheeled out, the ref, getting like, say, the hospital, saying, hey, Sami Zayn got really hurt. Oh, he picked, what? He said, no, man, screw that. He knocked out the stretcher, picked him up, and just slid right through the barricade. Like, just tossed him right into the barricade onto his back, making sure he has no chance to walk out. Basically, like, Strowman, basically like saying, yeah, I'm here, baby. And I'm here to be a destructive force on Monday Night Raw. Thank you for that. So that was nice. Next up, we have The New Day coming out saying the year 2016 was a mixed year for them. But he says 2017 will be big, baby. But then Titus O'Neil comes out. And I sat there and I'm wondering, why did I deserve this? And I sat there and I watched. He tried. Titus tried. He really tried, ladies and gentlemen. He tried, but the ship has sailed for Titus O'Neil. And he's saying that he should be the new member and he of the New Day. And Titus continued to try to be so, trying so hard, but no, it failed. And then Titus came back, showed up back with Xavier Woods and saying that, Xavier Woods said, no, he said, Titus O'Neil says, you are the weakest link in the group. Woods says, man, if you think so, you should have a match right now. And then says, and then just sucker punch, O'Neil sucker punch Woods. And then we have our match and knew that, and Xavier Woods beats Titus O'Neil, Shaka, with a roll up, a nice little roll up. But then it's not surprising. Titus O'Neil never really had his. I mean, he got his ass kicked by Braun Strowman. Dude is just collecting a paycheck at this point in WWE. Next up, we have Bayley confronting Stephanie McMahon, and my gosh, she is terrible. Where are the acts? Can WWE actually afford acting lessons, please? For not just Bayley, but most of the divas themselves. Or divas are women wrestlers and such. They're women wrestlers. But also, could you have some for, say, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Sami Zayn. In fact, most of the Raw roster, except for like guys like Luke Gallows, except for guys like The New Day and Jack Gallagher. Yeah, I mean, and even Roman Reigns needs a little bit of that too. Not Goldberg though, he's fine. But yeah, most of the Raw roster needs acting coaches. Cause she just had this cringe-worthy promo, and I'm like, I'm just me, Bayley. I'm like, oh. What happened to Bayley? What happened to all Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte? Where's the character? What happened to their characters? They had at least defined characters in NXT. They had at least somewhat decent promos in NXT. They just leave it to go to the main roster and regress? Or maybe they were always this bad. I don't know. It was terrible. Anyway. McMahon, Stephanie says, anyway, Stephanie comes in and says, I never saw anything special about Bayley or anything else, yada, yada, yada. Bayley says, I'm just who she is, and she belongs on Monday Night Raw with little to no passion, with little to no energy whatsoever. Just derp. And I hate that because I like Bayley. I think she could be something really positive for the women's division. A really good role model for young girls. Because I've seen her when the cameras, like, say, I actually tune in to say like a Breaking Ground, and I'm like, wow, this is someone I really could root for. But instead, they give her these scripts and where she talks. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for her, and it hinders her. It hinders Bayley, and it hinders a lot of wrestlers on WWE, and they need help. You need to help them, not hinder them. Anyway, we get to cruiserweight stuff as Noam Dar apologizes to Cedric Alexander, and Cedric Alexander is still doing this whack storyline with Alicia Fox, and Dar apologizes to Alicia Fox, but calls her sweet cheeks in the process, and then Cedric Alexander is about to lose it, and then wants to be restrained by Alicia Fox, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about them. I don't care about Cedric Alexander. I don't care about Noam Dar. I don't care about Alicia Fox. These three have no chemistry with each other. There's really no chemistry. Yeah, Drew Gulak and wrestling Cedric Alexander, and I didn't care for this match at all. In fact, no one cared about this match. In fact, during the match between Xavier Woods and Titus O'Neil, there were chants of Hogan. There were chants of that. There was barely any chance at all. Nothing. The crowd doesn't even do a JBL or a Corey Graves chance. They are no announcer chances. They are dead. The cruiserweight division, they don't care about the cruiserweights. No cheers, no boos. They just don't care at all. And when Drew Gulak won, you could just it was just it was a pin drop. No one cared. Yeah, but the crowd came alive for the next match as Roman Reigns takes on Chris Jericho for the United States Championship, and if Roman Reigns was disqualified or counted out, he would lose the United States title. This was actually a pretty good match, really good. These two do have really good chemistry with each other, and Chris Jericho having, since Jericho's a veteran of Roman Reigns, even though people like to say he's the worst wrestler ever, he's not. Roman Reigns is actually pretty decent in the ring. In fact, he's actually pretty good in the ring. And he does that whole smash mouth type of wrestling well, and I think you need more of that. And I did like the whole little Eddie Guerrero type tribute Chris Jericho did. He took the one of the ring posts off and had the metal plate thing exposed, and then he went in, got the United States Championship, was about to hit Roman Reigns with it, but then tossed it him, and then laid flat in the back. Thought that Chris Jericho was hit, and I know some of the crowd was chanting Eddie, Eddie, Eddie on it, but I'm surprised none of the announcers did. For shame, man, y'all. I think he should have sold it more if Chris Jericho should have been his head been hurting and everything. That's what Eddie would have done. Eddie would have actually been sold his head being hurt. I'm hurt. That's what he did. That's what Eddie Guerrero did. But he didn't. He just laid flat in the back and then he hit the cold breaker, didn't work. And then he tried to do it again, but his head hit the exposed turnbuckle, and Roman Reigns with the spear and picks up the victory. Pretty good match, and he got a reaction to the crowd. Not so much for the next match as TJ Perkins taking on Brian Kendrick. Again. Wow. I gotta say, first off, though, Austin Aries announcing, good. I like him. A lot better than Brian Saxton. Really good, and helps tempers the bit of Corey Graves and everything. So, Austin Aries is very good at announcing. Here's hoping he comes back and starts kicking butt and get in the ring, and also eventually, hope he finds his home in commentating. But yeah, TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick, I just didn't care for. In fact, those of the crowd didn't care for. The crowd just died. I like TJ Perkins. I think he is a good wrestler, same as Brian Kendrick. But they have no real reason people to care for them. No reason why they should go out and actually root for them, care for what their story is. No one cares about them at all. You can have the greatest match in the world, but if no one cares about it, you just be basically just sitting there doing all these flips and everything. But if no one cares, there's no investment in the story and no investment in the match. How will fans invest in the match if there's no story to it? And that's the thing. TJ Perkins, Brian Kendrick, I just didn't care for it. And most people didn't. Next up, we have Jinder Mahal and Rusev taking on Big Cass in a 2-1 handicap match, which is stupid storyline with Enzo, who was walking out butt naked, basically acting like a complete pervert, with Lana. And somehow is the face in all this because, we're trying to be the after we like so edgy. But no, they're not. WWE is it's not edgy at all. And honestly, the match is decent. Not decent, but it was just, don't care. Enzo and Mori, they didn't do a good stick. And I just, look, I like Cass. I like Enzo. Put them as a tag team. Don't put them as these. Don't push Big Cass yet. He can be good. I think Cass has the ability, but don't rush him. 2019 is probably a good way to break him off or something like that. 2020 may be the latest or earliest, one would say, but don't do it now. Build him up with Cass and Enzo as tag team champions. What's wrong with that? But they still seem to get reactions from the crowd, but eventually they won't. And then the WWE wonder why they don't, and they'll blame them, not themselves, and put them in these crappy storylines. And by the way, I just look at and I feel so bad for Rusev, and I'm like, why is Rusev stuck in these idiotic storylines? I want this all to end, and they can all just move on, because Rusev, at least, because I think he is someone who can really do some good things there. I just want him to go. Hopefully this year, he can go to SmackDown, become a badass face, and him and Corbin can have great matches. Why not? Anyway, next up, you have Bayley taking on Nia Jax, and the winner will go face Charlotte for the Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble. This was actually a pretty good match, as Nia Jax and Bayley have faced before and have some decent chemistry. And Nia Jax probably her best Raw showing, even though it was a bit of a rematch. If you have watched NXT, especially say NXT TakeOver London, I think that was probably Nia Jax's best showing. And there was some bit of hits but I think Nia Jax, I honestly thought would be more interesting if Charlotte faced Nia Jax. And actually I would like to see Nia Jax win the title and actually have a shake up for that division. But no, it looks like it's going to be Charlotte and Bayley, and I just didn't care because, it was going to be Charlotte. It's going to be Charlotte and Bayley because Sasha Banks distracts Nia Jax, which I don't know why they just ignore the ring. Why did they ignore the ramp? Why? It's like, for Doc Pepper, aka Peter Lapp, he used to do this, no holds barred. Says, why can't the wrestlers learn to ignore the entrance ramp? Just ignore the entrance ramp. They haven't. And it's just like Bayley comes up and then hits a nice belly to belly and beats Nia Jax 1, 2, 3. And it looks like Nia Jax and Sasha Banks are going to have a feud, and they're going to have it. Hopefully, Nia Jax wins the feud, and she goes on to win the women's title, the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. Hell, have Bayley, Charlotte, and Nia Jax, and just have her both squash both and pin both. It'll be interesting to say the least. And then we get to our main event. As not really our main event, that was our main event, but the main feature of the night. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at 10:57, which, by the way, I love the fact this show still has an overrun. 3 hours and it still needs an overrun. Oh man, time management. The WWE does not know what this word means. Anyway, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho enter the ring, and they're hosting a Kevin Owens show with a ring and a set, because this was a desk and a guy wearing a giant Kevin Owens show sign. It reminds people of the whole Kevin Steen show he used to have. Kevin Owens used to just sit and chat and talk to wrestlers, minus the big guy there. I don't know why the guy's there. Humiliation, I don't know. But anyway, after messing around, saying Chris Jericho doing this whole thing of saying, oh, y'all cheering Goldberg and everything, guess what? You just made the list. And he put Tampa on the list, and I don't care. Anyway, then Chris Jericho announces that he will participate in the Royal Rumble match. Kevin Owens freaks out, asking Jericho what we do if he wins. He says that happens. They'll face they'll face each other at WrestleMania. It doesn't matter because they're who wins because they're best friends. Friendship, the power of friendship. Because hey, the friends, super friends. Then Goldberg comes in and he says Jericho's participating in the Royal Rumble match. That means Jericho, you're first. Goldberg seems ready to fight right now, and Kevin Owens says, "Man, he ain't Kevin Owens trying to play him off." I'm like, dude, just stop. Goldberg's a real man. You're just like, dude, Owens, I love you, but you're looking more like the fan who, like I said, he's not a wrestler, and Kevin Owens does not. He's like, man, Kevin Owens is not. He doesn't care. Like, he's not a wrestler. He's not been booked as a wrestler. He's been booked as a dude who won a contest. Like, he could be a wrestler, and I keep repeating myself. Yeah, the way he won the title thanks via the Triple H doesn't dissuade that he's basically a fan who just basically says who won a contest to become the world champion. That's pretty much it. And you have Goldberg there, and he's like saying, you're ready to go. And says that, Goldberg, and Kevin says, Goldberg knocked that little toy chair outside, which is, he had no time for this. Goldberg's like, no. He says, you know what? You come out there, Jericho's about to put his name on the list. He says, you know what that means? You know what he says? That means spear and jackhammer right in front of Owens' face. And Owens start tossing the set, trying to be hard, which doesn't work. But then Heyman comes out, and then Paul Heyman says, my name, it does his whole stick, but he says Brock Lesnar is not here because that would have been interesting. It says it will be elimination, repeat, and so on and so forth, with Brock Lesnar being the winner. Goldberg says, no, I beat Brock once again at the Royal Rumble. And he turns to Kevin Owens and says the two of them have a date at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns comes out, says Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens said, you ain't gonna win. Said, no, you're not winning anything at the Royal Rumble. Then he looks at Goldberg and Stu Jones like, yeah. Now, this would actually be an interesting match. Sure, it'll be short, but, it'll be interesting to say at least, because it would be actually at this point, it would be very interesting. But here's someone I actually think would be really interesting. Strowman comes in and says, if anyone is going to win the Royal Rumble match, it's him. Strowman looks like he's about to take down both Goldberg and Roman, but Goldberg and Roman come together and take down Braun Strowman with a double spear. And that was pretty much ends the show as Roman Reigns and Goldberg look at each other, and Goldberg stands alone in the ring celebrating, as Kevin Owens and Jericho just walk away, and no one really notices them. And honestly, I would not mind Roman Reigns and Strowman. I know Goldberg and Lesnar are going to have their match of Mania. But I think it would be very interesting to have Roman Reigns and Strowman. I think that would be a pretty good match. I think Strowman has really improved. I think it'll be good. I think Strowman should win the U.S. title maybe in the next couple months. And heck, I was having him win the Royal Rumble as well. And then have him face Roman Reigns for the Universal title. And I don't know when, maybe, but I think it'll be very interesting to see. I think it'll be a pretty good match. A really good match. A big, strong, just slobber knocker type of match. Which would be something really interesting to have. I think Roman would actually I think that'd be a pretty interesting match. But that's just me. Anyway. That was Monday Night Raw, and like I said, last segment was the most interesting. I like that. I did like Jack Gallagher and New Day, and honestly, everything else was just meh. I did enjoy Roman Reigns and Jericho. There was a couple things: Roman Reigns and Chris Jericho, Jack Gallagher and the New Day, and the final segment, but that is not enough to really save Raw for me. It was honestly, I would say this is a thumbs down for Raw. I did not like it. As a whole, I didn't like it. There are some parts I did like, but there was a lot of parts I didn't. And it's a shame because, again, they have the talent to do everything, but Raw, to me, seems to me the main problem is that they're stretched too thin. They have not enough superstars to really, hold the whole 3 hours mark. Even with the cruiserweights, I think, again, maybe Raw needs to be 2 hours. Get the cruiserweights off Monday Night Raw, put them on 205 Live permanently, and quite honestly, put Raw on a more reasonable time for the younger set, like from 7 to 9, instead of basically from 8 o'clock to 11. That's not good, and that's not good for any kids or anything else, which they're trying to go for the PG market. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, this is Duke CT here. Peace and love. I'll see you when I see y'all. Later.